Hey, what's up, Donald? Thanks for joining the stream. Are you going to finish and film the rest for the 1986 Transformers movie when Devastator goes into the Autobot base? I'm assuming you mean, hey, what's up? Uh, so I drew up to the part where, yeah, as you saw, um, Devastator is broken up into pieces and then chases them into the deeper into the Autobot base. And actually, there aren't any storyboards that talk about that kind of show what happens to the Constructicons, um, other than what you saw, in one of my 4-year journey video, where um, the Constructicons are battling. They're appearing out of cracks, kind of like little passageways in the wall, and fighting Hot Rod, Cup, RC, and Springer. So we just assume that Ultramagus made his way back to the command center with a couple of the Autobots, and that the Constructicons got shut out, and so they had to kind of leave the corridors, the interior corridors, and just continue in the outside battle, and then, of course, escape on Astro Train. So, yeah, as far as what I could draw, I mean, the sky's the limit, but unfortunately, the ground is my limit because I'm a one-man animation crew, and I, I'm obviously dealing with a lot of health issues, so it's hard for me to even concentrate on animation, and which is why I've been, doing a lot of sketching, which I'll go over, once a couple more people roll in, then I'll start showing what I've been working on that I haven't been posting to the internet. So yeah, give me a few. Just hopefully you can hang out for a little longer, and then we'll start showing some art. Hey, Decepticitty, what's up? Thanks for joining. Yeah, I thought I'd start a little earlier today, rather than the usual 5 p.m. Central Time. I just enjoyed your work, and what were you doing? And I hope all is well with you and your health and your family as well. And I do appreciate you and what you've done. Thank you, Donald. I really appreciate you as well for the kind words and the well wishes and the thoughts about me and my family. Um, yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm hanging in there. Um, Still going to the hospital every week. Still getting regular treatments, more maintenance treatments. Nothing that's obviously gonna cure me or anything. We're kind of in a holding pattern where my body isn't really able to respond to anything, and I'm kind of blocked from getting further treatments because of complications and things like that. So um, it's possible that I could continue getting maintenance treatments for the rest of my life and have a certain level of quality of life, or it's also quite possible that um, my symptoms start to get worse again, and then we find out bad news, and but there's nothing anybody can do, really. Um, so yeah, but got to stay positive and just hope for the best, and right now quality of life and um, basic sort of everyday uh, what do you call it? Everyday sort of um, ability to function and eat and just do basic stuff is you know really more than I can ask for at this point, and a little bit more desk space. But yeah, you know, take the hits as they come, and we're all good, right? We're all should be good to go. Good enough to go. But how's everyone else doing? I know everyone's got something. I know it's not just me, you know, I know Decepticate is going through some stuff as well. And yeah, I know we're all in it together. And you know, hopefully this is some place for us to gather and, you know, talk about our love of Transformers and also talk about our health and place to be open. And yeah, I usually, you know, as far as, you know, being open and stuff, I usually don't leave my live streams public for too long. You know, usually just about a week or so, and then I take it down. Just because, you know, there's things that I might say that are, you know, could be taken out of context, or, you know, there's obviously things said in the chat that maybe people also want to keep private. So, you know, I try to respect that, and I'm not gonna leave this, you know, these chats like public, you know, for that purpose. And of course, you know, I'll edit stuff down, you know, in the future and, you know, post it if it's interesting enough, you know, to warrant. Like, you know, mostly about my art, right? Like if I do a picture that I like, you know, I might, you know, post it as a clip, you know, in the future or something. So I do keep the live streams, but I just don't see the need to have them be public, you know, for all of eternity. But yeah, this is my brother's keychain crew. So these aren't the vintage ones, but you know, sort of the I guess I don't know when they were released, but they were definitely a cool idea and a great way to get our hands on these after the fact and not have to you know, get a new what do you call it, a reissue, so to speak, you know, because the old ones obviously they're very fragile and you know, dirty and stuff, so, and expensive if you're trying to get them on the secondhand market. Obviously, we weren't the richest kids back then, right? We didn't get every toy that we wanted, so. But what I find though is that these are difficult to transform. Like I just totally snapped my skin in between two pieces of plastic there. But you know, I was trying to transform my brother's Warpath, and my God, that thing is hard to transform. Like what the hell? Like I felt like I was going to break it. But yeah, these Generation 1 mini bots are real fun to play with. Decepticate, I'm doing all right. Thank you. Happy you could join. That's a rad Deathmatch. Yeah, this one, I think I got it from Amazon. It's called a Work Lion, some off-brand cutting mat, which I kept pretty pristine. Oh, it's marked from last time. I forgot that I put it here. And this is my old one, the Nicole cutting mat. I think this one is actually a halfway decent brand. It's obviously a lot dirtier. But yeah, this one's double-sided too. Got a nice green surface here, which I've pretty pristine, haven't used it. And obviously Nicole has a... Oh, another art that I forgot about. These are all from last stream. Cool stuff. Some ramjet stuff. A couple of funny ramjets. But yeah, the Nicole cutting mat also has a green side, obviously worn and used over the years. But yeah, I use these to flatten art pieces, you know, when they're, you know, kind of wet and the paper's kind of, what do you call it? Wavy from the wet brush. So yeah, we'll review some of this art later. You know, maybe we might get a couple more people to come in. Hey, Brad. So let's see what we got here. I will pray to God and ask for him to send Raphael the you, my friend. God bless. Thank you, Raphael. I know Raphael. I know him from the Book of Enoch. Don't force yourself to get better. Just allow yourself the space to do it. I'm glad you're hanging in there. Yeah, exactly. You know, I feel that sickness is definitely an often misunderstood thing. I feel sickness is definitely a representation of what we've attracted to our own lives. And if I've attracted cancer to my body, I feel there's degrees to which somehow I attracted that to my body, whether through my lifestyle or through my thinking or through my grudges or whatnot, karma, if you want to call it that. So I feel like sickness is a great way to really look back on your life and think about what you could do better, how you can think better, what better attitude you can bring to the world and to your life and family and friends. And um, it's a slow time to think. I mean, I'm blessed to be able to have slow time. I know a lot of people who are sick don't have to keep working, and so they're still in the grind of day-to-day life, and they are unable to really introspect. And I really feel empathy for those people, because I think sickness is not something you can do while working. You can't really deal with it properly while working. So, but yeah, no, that's a really, really, really big tangent. But yeah, it's just just thoughts. What is what? That's thoughtful of you to be confidential. Yeah, it's such a public thing we're dealing with now. Whether it's our cell phones, and everything can be recorded, everything can be put on video. Everyone's got a video camera in their pocket, and I see a lot of videos, and some of them are people recording in public places, but people are very agitated by that. And I think about even here on camera, like if I take some video of something that is something I don't want someone to see, like maybe my feet or the ground, looking dirty or something, or my iPad, or what's on my iPad. Oh no. So it's just like, yeah, man, I can't manage all of that. So then I just have to kind of like take the videos down, because yeah, it's just fair, to do that these days. And people can take, obviously take your voice, they can take your art, they can take anything from your live stream. And there's a degree to risk at all times for everything. But yeah, you try to minimize your risk. You're gonna enter risk, by being on this earth. We're constantly at risk. We might get hit by an asteroid or a stray bullet or something, knock on wood, so you're always at risk. But you try to minimize risk in the ways that we understand how, and move forward in life, and not try to get too caught up in certain things. Good afternoon, bro. Hey, Henry, what's up, man? Hey, glad you can join. And Henry's my old buddy. Yeah, he really helped me out when I was kind of at a pretty low point, and that's really great. Yeah, glad you can join, Henry. And Brad. So Brad said, "What do you think about the Skybound Transformers?" The Skybound Transformers, I think, obviously good for the Transformers franchise. A lot of people like it, so I can't obviously go against the Transformers fandom. Obviously, there's a level of what do you call it? Dang, what's the word? Discretion, I guess, where it's like, okay, this is good, this is bad, this is mediocre. And I think a lot of people genuinely like it, and I can't deny the fact that people like it. Do I like it? It's not really my cup of tea. I feel like it's a little bit too violent. And again, people who know me know that I don't really care too much about violence in Transformers. So it's really violent. And I think violence has its place, but like somebody was throwing ideas at me the other day about action scenes we could add to the movie, and I was thinking like like I don't want to just do action scenes, I want to do scenes that maybe show friendship, and war buddies, right? So yeah, I'll do action scenes if I'm doing, scenes that can flesh out, Sunstreaker and Sideswipe being brothers, a scene with Blue Streak and Prowl because they're Datsun bros, right? A scene between Optimus and Bumblebee, because they're kind of like father and son or whatever, right? Like I'll do that action scene, but I won't just do an action scene between just people fighting, To me, that's no point, and it's not interesting. And we've seen the best fisticuffs and laser battles and the best that Hollywood can offer, So really, there's no point in me drawing action scenes. I'm here to tell stories about Autobots, as a family, right? I forgot how to transform this guy. But yeah, so Autobots as a family. So yeah, I don't know how I got on that tangent, but yeah. Lily Animation. Hey, Lily Animation. Thanks for joining. Yeah, the Skybound writer had good description about what the fans might want. His other comics did well. Yeah, he's super famous and super well loved, and I think he knocked it out of the park. And he made a lot of money for his company and or for himself, for Skybound, and for himself, Skybound, and for Hasbro, right? So hey, it's a win all around. But I read until about issue something. And then I just stopped because I was like, okay, I get the gist of it, not my cup of tea. Yeah, sorry, long-winded. Can someone tell me how to transform this guy? I don't want to break it because this is an authentic G1. I don't know how do you get this this black piece out of the way? Like I don't know why this is so complicated. Like I was trying to transform Jazz the other day, G1 G2 Jazz. I could not, for the life of me, transform him without, like, maybe breaking him. So, I don't want to break him, even though it's G2, but... What the hell is this? This piece does not move. Oh. They're even making a cartoon based on the Skybound comics. Yeah. Well, it's not, I don't think it's based on it. Like... based on it. I think it's like what do you call it? It's the Energon universe. Well, it is. It's based on like the whole Energon universe, I think. So then that to me even dilutes it a bit more because you're gonna get like the weird Robert Kirkman characters. What was that comic called? The first one, right, where the Transformer like Skyfire appeared. And you're gonna get like all that other sort of like peripheral storyline, like a lot of quintessons, and then GI Joe's gonna show up, and so it's a little bit too noisy for me too. Like, so yeah, I don't know. I'm not too excited about that. And then you're gonna deal with the animation, like animation. I'm pretty picky with animation. I'm just a picky, almost 50-year-old guy. So at this point, it's like it's really hard to please me, and I just prefer to make my own stuff. And hey, I understand my stuff isn't that great, but it still brings me more joy than consuming stuff, Does that make sense? This is the best I can do. Wow, that's sad. He's like constantly on like this wheelie here. Sunstreaker is the first car robots mold. Yes, he is. Yes, that's good trivia right there. The first, I don't know if you've seen the first iteration of Sunstreaker, but he didn't even have feet. he was basically like the arms and the head would like bend upward or something. I mean, you know, I can show a facsimile of it if I don't break it. Yeah, it's basically like something like this, where his body would bend up instead of back. His body would kind of bend up a little bit, and it would be like a dude rising up out of the back of a car, you know? And yeah, that was the first Sunstreaker. No, he obviously wasn't his first car robot. And then they went full hog on it, and then they gave him, you know, robot legs and everything. But yeah, so this actually kind of even reminds me of Tracks, you know, with the flying car mode, right? Just give him a few wings. We're gonna do that. Oh, he's too loose. But yeah, kind of looks like Tracks. Hey, Spacey, what's up? All right, I think we got a good crowd here. We got 5 people. That's good enough. That's a crowd, right? So let's do a rundown of some art I've been doing lately. Usually I only share a lot of these on my Patreon, so consider joining my Patreon. But yeah, let's get started. So what we got here? Oh, this isn't the original. So let me pull up. Let me get there. Grab the original. Yeah, I got a lot of art that you guys will be able to check out. So let's fish out that original. Yeah, that's the original there. So this is, you know, a crumpled up piece of drug, what do you call it? So basically a description of the drug that I was taking. But yeah, you can see it's crumpled up like crazy. But I used it to kind of add texture to the art. And then I used the texture to inform even the pose of this guy. Like I didn't even know what this was going to be, but basically what I did was, you know, I take one of these papers, right? And you know, I decided I wanted to do like a kind of like a spider web kind of thing. So what I did was like kind of like did that, and I just crumpled it into like this spider web, right? And then I like twisted it all up, and I pressed it down, and then I like opened it, and it created, you can kind of see it's, maybe you can see the similarity, but yeah, based on that, and then I went over with like a brush, right? And you'd get these like kind of shapes, right? You see these like angular shapes, right? And it kind of becomes a pose, right? Like 2 legs, 2 arms, right? Two wings, or two arm cannons, you know? So yeah, I'm gonna do a lot more of these because I think they're really cool, and it's kind of like a distress art, you know? Yeah, so that's a fun thing that I did there. Let's try to put these out. So I did of course I have the G1 wind charger. So I went ahead and did a G1 wind charger art. And then what I did was I brought it into Clip Studio Paint. And then you see how I drew it on this like accounting or whatever roll call paper. It's got this blue here. So I brought it into Clip Studio Paint, my art program, and I painted white onto the, you know, the bits over the blue, and then I printed it out again. So now I've got this kind of like, you know, this pops a bit more, right, than this one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand color this, make it look cool. So that's another project. Yeah, this one, I printed out too. So you can see it, I captured quite a bit of the detail here. And I'm thinking about coloring this one too, but then again, I thought if I color it, it'll just kind of ruin all the nice detail, from the wrinkled paper. So I might not color it, but I might. Still up for debate there. But yeah, I keep the originals separate and then got the facsimiles there. Let's see what we got. Wow, holy conehead, Batman. Thanks. That's really nice. Like a found artifact. Yeah, yeah. Oh, and Spacey, I'm gonna show off some of the art I'm gonna send you right here. Let me do that actually. So Spacey has been, a kind supporter on my Patreon, and also my GoFundMe. So we've been talking about doing some original art for him, and so I've got some art here. Let's see. You try to get it all. Well, actually, I'll get to it when it comes up in the pile. Oh no, I'll do it now. Sorry. And then I gotta find it. Quite a bit of stuff here. Yeah, I've been drawing a lot. And first, here's a huffer I sketched out. And then I went ahead and I hand colored it. So I scanned and printed this one, and then I hand colored it. So I'll be sending you this hand colored one. I'll be keeping the original, but yeah, you're gonna get this. Sorry, there's a water stain here. So that's Huffer. And then he made a special request for a couple of the variants. So I went ahead and drew Puffer here. And then I scanned it and printed it, and I hand colored Puffer. So that's, again, Spacey, I'll be sending you the hand colored one. Now I'll keep this for myself. So yeah, I used metallic paint because it's actually a silver. I mean, it's actually a gray that I don't know. I just thought I'd do a little metallic paint on that. So that's Puffer, and then the third one is Road Ranger. If you guys know, and you see, I'm using different references, right, for this one. So this one is obviously the toy reference, direct toy reference. This one is my interpretation of the cartoon and toy, I guess. And then this one is based off of one of the third party or whatever. No, not third party. Hasbro toy designs with the arm shield and then the gun. So it's Road Ranger, and then I hand colored Road Ranger. So this, again, I'm going to send this one to you, Spacey, the hand colored one, and I'll keep that one. So yeah, so I think that's a pretty cool set. That's really pushed my boundaries there with Huffer, and it was really good to do a deep dive on Huffer because again, I learned a lot about the Huffer toy lore and names, and this one actually was also an international variant or something. I'm sure Spacey could let us know in the comments, but yeah, these were international rare variants, I think, and then they were brought back to life. in recent times as toys. And even in this one, even in the story, where some kind of like multiverse story, right? Where Huffer and Pipes got combined into Puffer or something. But yeah, that's what I've been working on. One of the things I've been working on. Move on to the next set. What do we got here? Very nice. Thank you. Those are incredible. Thank you. What skills you have? Yeah, no, thank you, Spacey. I've been meaning to, send a thank you package to you. Very cool, Chrome. Thanks. Absolutely amazing. I'll frame them and display them with my G1 and Modern Truck Boys. Cool. Yeah. No, I mean, you'll definitely take care of the art better than me, which is why I wanna get all my art like out of my house before I die. So, because I know, people will take care of this stuff better than me. And it really doesn't have a place in my... Once I draw it, it's really for the fans. So this is stuff from my older streams, if you recall. Got a ramjet here, and then, a 9-up, which these are great. I don't know if I'll do one today, but these are great because definitely, I'll take fan requests for who you want me to draw. But this is a great way for me to warm up. I plan to stream for a while today, so we could do one of these. I started to do a couple of RCs, and this is a little practice shot I did of RC. Another practice shot. Just real quick studies that I do with my my wedge brush, and a little bit of jet black diamine ink and water, of course. So there's a couple of RCs there. This was the third RC I did, which is obviously a lot more refined and pencil. So yeah, this one came out pretty cool. Got a little RC stack there. And then I did, these two fun ones, which you might have seen on social media, is the Power Glide and Wheelie. So, Power Glide, again, my design, combining toy elements and and cartoon elements and modern toy elements. And Wheelie was my own redesign, just trying to keep true to his funky head position and his huge gorilla arms. So I made him into a boxer. So I thought that was fun. This one, I can't remember if I shared anywhere yet, but it's the Ironhide. It's for anime style, This one I plan to color and do more with, but it's kind of been on the back burner for a while. Here is a funny looking Sunstreaker, obviously based on the toy. Kind of wonky, but just the wonkier the better is the vibe there, And going on, this was also I think this was from a stream as well. The hot rod there. Been doing a lot of hot rod. So this was from a stream as well, which this wasn't on stream. Well, the under skeleton of this was drawn more like this. Actually, let me dig it out so you guys can see. Yeah, so the original was like that. So, kind of a sun glazed look. And I think this one's actually done kind of the way it is, But just for fun, I decided to see what, like, again, I scanned and printed it just to see what it might look like if I painted it. So this is kind of what came out, again, something that really, no love lost, no time lost, really just doing that just to learn. So there's that. See, yeah, and like I showed earlier, this one was also kind of a orange only, kind of a cool sketch that I might work on again. Again, now that I know, like, if I color it, it might turn out like this. I want to like noodle on how I can do this in a more interesting way than this, right? Because this is kind of, to me, this is not really hitting the mark. So is there a way I can enhance this? Obviously, but make it better, and that's sort of the thing I would challenge myself with. And then this was a sketch I did on stream, real quick, and real free. But of course, and then I scanned it and printed it, and then I, went in and kind of cleaned it up a little bit, I used some, I just tried to tighten it up as best as I could, and I think it turned out better. So again, these things are never done. Art is never finished. It's only abandoned, right? So, there's a point where this might be the point where I abandon it. But yeah, it's just, it's stages, right? And so that's why I love it when I can, be on stream and kind of birth these ideas, right? And all you need to do is to birth the idea, and then the sky's the limit, Like this, I could totally do something with this. And this was like, I don't know, like 20 minutes. So it's just a matter of time, and what excites me in the moment and my health. So as long as I'm feeling okay, I'll just pick up one of these unfinished pieces or start a new piece and then see where it could take me. So this was one I remember I woke up in the morning and I just started drawing. And this was, this is the directly based on this toy. And this toy has a lot of really good intricate details, which is, you can see that I put into this sketch. So, and I added the third cannon there. It's funny, they only gave him 2 cannons on this one. So his hand is here. You see his hand is here. They gave him 2 cannons instead of 3. So, again, I just can't help but change shit. So I changed it, 3 cannons. I changed some other stuff on this too, but for the most part, I think I kept a lot of the details. Just tons of detail on this, and I think this turned out really cool. This is one I did, I think, a few days ago. I started with this sketch here, which is now buried here. Just a sec. I started with this sketch, this idea of like transforming, jumping and transforming. And, when I drew this, it reminded me of that. Remember that cartoon from the 80s where that stretchy dude could transform into a car and he would put his hands out and they would become the wheels? You'd have to be watching cartoons in the 80s to know that. So, yeah. And then I went in, of course, I scanned this, blew it up, did some digital touch-ups on it, and then printed it, and then did some more pencil work on it. So yeah, my process lately is I'll draw it, scan it, touch it up, print it, draw more on it, color it, scan it, print it, do more on it, and just keep repeating until I abandon it. So, but along the way, then you get this sort of like multiplication of art, right? And then I want to, you know, I have to supplement my income somehow eventually, and hopefully, you know, just put these somewhere that they can get into, you know, the fans' hands and stuff. So that's a huge stack of hot rod art. This was from a stream too. This is not the original, but you know, again, I printed it out, and I can definitely color it or do something with it. Another hot rod from a stream. This is, yeah, earlier was the printout, or sorry, this is the printout, and earlier was the original of that. I guess right here, yeah. So the hue is actually a little different. This is the printout, so it looks a little darker, a little more muted. This is the brighter original, so that's something I could work on. Yeah, a lot of these are printouts, so like they're ready. They're definitely ready for stage 2. I mean, this one's a printout too. This is ready for stage 2. So my original stack, and then I have my printout stack. And yeah, that's the gist of it. Just tons and tons of art. And you know, to kind of organize it all in my brain. And then try not to forget about stuff that I want to work on. But inevitably, you know, some stuff might get lost in the shuffle until I dig through my art again. And oh, and we can go really old. Well, let me check some comments here. Don't die, dude. The Matrix doesn't need you this soon. Yeah, I'm not dying soon, hopefully. Stay positive. Have you ever painted Fortress Maximus or Metroplex? Oh, Monty's Magnificent Models. Hey, thanks for joining. Have you ever painted Fortress Maximus or Metroplex? These are incredible. Thanks. Metroplex, yes, I did do a fan art of Metroplex a while back. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah. Is this the only one? I wonder if this is the only one I've done. But yeah, that's one I did, shoot, a long time ago. Got a little Optimus Prime here. Yeah, when I was doing a bunch of, what do you call it? Procreate on art on the iPad. Yeah, I did this, this Metroplex. I haven't done Fortress Maximus. Classics Hot Rod for sure. Yeah. Francis Copaolini. Thanks for joining. Looks great with colors, but I also like the monochromatic one. Thanks. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes, you know, the initial burst is the most fun and the most cool. Spacey said, I don't know if Ladybird books exist outside the UK, but they almost always use the toys themselves as reference for their TF books. Those are what I grew up with, so my brain always goes to the toy designs. Yeah, yeah, no, I totally understand, and me too. You know, like when I look at, like I'm gonna do, well, knock on wood, if I do some Braun artwork, definitely I'm gonna really kind of like dig down into the toy aesthetic, because there's so much, I feel there's so much potential for, you know, a complete even redesign of everybody, focusing on the G1 toy designs. Like, come on, like chrome arms. He's even got wings here. You know, obviously not flying wings, but like it's a design element that is lost, obviously, on his cartoon design, which is great. His cartoon design is great, but you know, I'm always up for fresh things. This is a really cool design. You know, he's got pretty thin legs there. So, you know, how can we reconcile that, you know? But yeah, it's very cool. The toys are so cool. And that's also why, you know, I did this, right? This is pure. I mean, there's so many elements of this art that are just based on this, looking at this and just marveling at the cool little details, you know, of this, you know, the the crotch, the stomach, the chest, the head, the sort of like, what is this head, right? And it's big, kind of basically the width of his shoulders, even, you know, this one too, right? And the ridges on his leg here, right? The ridges on the rear window here, and then the non-tapering waist, which is really cool. I think it's kind of like these. He's got these saddlebags here on the side, which, you know, I was happy to notice and add in. You know, so normally you would just do that, right? And because you want that tapering, or you might even taper that even more. But first of all, he's got these side rails, and then he's even got the love handles here. So, and then this guy, man, look at his legs. Like, his legs don't even come out the bottom of the pelvis; they come out the sides of the pelvis. So that'll be interesting to draw too. So yeah, cool stuff. Go Gadget. What's that? Or that, I mean, Inspector Gadget or something? Was it Plastic Man? Yeah, I think it was Plastic Man. Light on Fort Max. Yeah, that was Metroplex. Fantastic artwork. Have you done some comic work? For comic books? Yeah, I used to do comic books. Yeah, I could show you some of my old comic books. That's actually a good segue. You know, I didn't think someone would bring that up, but yeah, I do have examples of my comic work. Oh gosh, where is it? Yeah, I wish even I had the physical comics here, but I don't. They're in New York. Let's see. I know they're on my other Google Drive. I have 2 Google Drives, and the other Google Drive is only accessible through my desktop, which is off now. So maybe next time. Maybe next time. Now I'm getting a little older. I have saddlebags too. Oh yeah, my stomach is huge now because I have fluid buildup and you know, swollen organs and whatnot. So yeah, my stomach's way bigger now, and it looks really like weird. You know, because like everywhere on my body, I'm skinny, right? But I have a big stomach, so it really looks kind of like, you know, uh, yeah, like weird. Yeah, Jumbling City Boys' names. Yeah, I was thinking too. I could show you what a couple of things I worked on my in Procreate here. These are my older ones. You know, maybe you guys have seen a lot of these. No, I'm really proud of some of these. Like this Prime came out really cool way back. Did this kind of, see if I turn this off and I look better. Got a really like serendipitous, accidental, like sort of like this. See this paint chipping thing? Like that was by accident. And then I was like, wow, that came out really cool. And then I couldn't really recreate it. you know? Yeah, these are all like, this is when I was going crazy on Procreate. I'll show you another one that I did that I have trouble recreating now. Is I did this hot rod, and I got this like metal sheen effect. See that? It like looks like brushed metal. And then I did the scratched paint on the helmet, so you get this kind of like contrast, right, between the scratched metal worn helmet and then the brushed metal on the face. And I couldn't really recreate that after a while, so kind of funky. But the more you play with it, this is recent. I haven't even released this one yet, but that's again, just trying to do this metal texture and then the paint texture there. Obviously getting the magenta in there, the right color, and then some other stuff going on there. But yeah, that's not quite finished. Again, finished, abandoned, whatever. That's I'm just working on these portraits because this is what actually put me on the map back in, I think it was 2019, when my Instagram account kind of blew up. Not blew up, but I got over the hump, so to speak. I was doing a lot of these. This was the first one I did that really blew up. Um, just a real simple Optimus, but it's just his face. And I think on Instagram it really played well into the grid format, so people kind of liked that one. And then yeah, I went on to do a bunch of Autobot faces, Decepticons, and then the more you pull out and do these bodies and stuff, then I'm just not as good at that. So then but I still did it. Like I just kept kind of doing more body, whereas I probably should have focused more on the face because that was what was worked best for me. So I started doing that stuff again. Just kind of focusing more on the face. But things change and interests change, and I go back and forth on what I like and what I want to do. So yeah, these came out real nice. They're just not as popular, obviously, but yeah, these with the big face there. And then yeah, kind of petered out for many years after that. But then, trying to get back into it, see if people still like it, or if they don't, that's fine too. No love lost there. Just again, digital is like digital's like lately less interesting to me, because I like the analog stuff. Just because, again, staring at screens and all that blue light can get a little tiresome. So this is some non-transformer stuff, but still robot stuff. So again, you're just, robot-related stuff here. Gundam. There's a Gundam sketch I did a while back. I don't date these, which is really bad. I have a general idea of when I drew these, but not totally dated. Yeah, here's a funny Optimus and probably Ironhide there. And then that might be Skids or something, or just a random retro car and an ugly motorcycle there. That's the RC, maybe some of you saw on my social media. But what I really wanted was this, to show you guys this, which is kind of a fun thing that I've never shown anybody. But you got pretty much a lot of the Autobots here. I forgot who that was, but that's obviously Prime. You got Bumblebee. We got Windcharger, Mirage, Ironhide with the curtains in the back there. Prowl, Huffer. It's a Hound. Oops, I gotta plug in my phone. I'm gonna run out of battery here. Ratchet, of course. And then one of the Lambros, probably Sideswipe there. So yeah, it's just a fun little curve there with the city. Got some humans there. I might color that at some point, That might be fun. And then, I don't know, I guess I've drawn a lot of Sunstreakers. But there's a Sunstreaker there. This one, yeah, just another fun little one. Side view. Got Prime, Ironhide, Bumblebee. Who's that? Probably Sideswipe. Yeah, Sideswipe and Sunstreaker. Blue Streak. Brawn. Jazz, right? This one just really for the Corvette. Obviously tracks. I'm a tracks fan, so I did this cool little Corvette. This was an old Cosmos I did. Again, my own personal redesign. And then we got some, Optimus Prime. This is when I was doing the Cybertronian vehicles thing. So I got all these Cybertronian vehicle designs here. Yeah, I don't know. They all, start to blend together. This one I did post on social media. I colored it. But yeah, just some car studies I did looking at Pinterest or something. More car designs, and there's a Lambo there. Weird looking concept art, which is all useless now because AI just does concept art like with its eyes closed. You could pump out like 400 concept art designs in like 1 hour. So it's like concept art is dead, unfortunately. It's a crappy well, kind of like what I would draw like as a kid. But of course I drew this when I was this is probably like only a couple years ago. But again, just something that, very 2D, very pure sort of Optimus with like some cheap color pencils, but still you see the symmetry there. Not bad. Not bad. This was the famed concept art that I did for the Megatron howitzer design. So I did post this on social media and got a ton of likes and stuff like that. So that was fun. That was a fun one. This is the actual origin art of that. Yeah, endless art. There's just so much stuff that I'll probably never be able to fully share with everybody. Here's one that I did too. Again, this is a distress art thing. Kind of a funny looking Spider-Man I did. Again, this is all distressed paper, and this is what I mean. When I put the brush on it, it only picks up the creases. So you see, I didn't even need to draw any of this. It's just basically lightly running a brush of one color and then another color over this, and you get this wonderful spiderweb design. And then I went in here, did all the little webbing things on his suit, which I've always had fun doing that. And I know a lot of people find it annoying drawing all these little webbing things, but I don't find it annoying, actually. I find it kind of therapeutic in a way. So that's a Spider-Man. Obviously, you talk about comics, like I grew up on comics, so I have a ton of comics art. I just draw comics all day. And, my dream was, to become a comic artist, so and I do other stuff too. So this is when I was doing a lot of color calligraphy marker stuff and color pencil stuff. So just exploring different weird things. I drew this in the hospital, I think, actually. Just lying there on the bed and getting treatments, and I was just like, I brought my color pencils one day, and I just drew some stuff on one of these hospital, you know, thingies. So this is, yeah, this is some kind of eyeball, eyeball bug thing. But yeah, you know, I do, man, I do so much art you would not believe. I just don't share it online because, and again, you know, it's like, again, it's my home is not really a good, I don't really take care of this stuff. Here's a cool one. It's like, this is abstract, you know, I just did a bunch of weird brush strokes and then I found this weird character in the art. And so what I do is, you know, just kind of go over little things that I saw in the art and kind of try to make it into a character, you know, and it ends up something like that, you know. So that's something that I was doing a lot of for a while. Is just this sort of abstract character. What do you call it? Character like scavenger hunt, so to speak. Like trying to find the character in the brush strokes, you know. And sometimes I can find the character in there. There's another example of that I have over here somewhere. Yeah, like this one, which didn't pan out that great, but still, there's something here, you know. Like I was doing this sort of ink wash thing, and I could kind of swear I saw like a human in there. So I tried to kind of highlight some areas, like a head, you know, maybe a hand and a shield, maybe a leg, you know, a leg and a thing, and it's just in a way, you know, again, abandoned, right? But still kind of like cool, right? And this thing's distressed too, I think, a little bit. Or maybe it's just, I forgot what I was doing here. But I think I had a sheet of paper and it was wet. So I was like dabbing it on there. And then it, you know, kind of left this kind of like squarish, these like lines. These like hard lines amidst the other lines. So yeah, you know, pretty fun stuff. But again, you know, it's just like the water is alive. So like sometimes I just try to see if the water I can communicate with the water, and if I can, then you know it'll like flow into these like channels, you know, and the channels will look like something, and that something will sometimes look better than my imagination can conjure. Like if I say, oh, I want to draw a human with a head here, arms here, and legs here, it's boring, right? But if I take a piece of paper like this, right, and I just put color on it, you know, then sometimes the creases will just make something, you know, that I can see. Like, you know, like I can kind of see a chest here and some arms and a head. So it's like that forms a pose that I wouldn't normally draw. It's more dynamic than the pose that'll come out of my head, you know. And so by doing it that way, I get art that I never would have expected and that the audience wouldn't expect, you know. Because we all fall into these patterns of creation, and all of my art would start to look the same. You know, you'd say, "Oh, that's another one of his boring poses." But if I let nature create a pose, then it's completely original. You know. Sorry, I'm ignoring the chat. um, let's see what we got here. Nice texture on that prime. Thanks. AI can't do happy accidents like humans can. You're the perfect example. Cool, thanks. Yeah. Can't wait to see it. I'm doing some superhero commissions. My passion is in Transformers and Mecha. Yes, yes. I'd love to see some of your art. So, I don't know. Maybe if you join my Discord, you know, we could see some of your art. My Discord link, invite link, is in my in the description of this live stream, so you could just join my Discord there, and then I would love to see some of your art. I think Transformers and Mecha, especially Mecha, there's a huge fan base for Mecha, so I do actually want to do more Mecha. I do have Mecha like really ingrained in my brain. And I think Transformers is great. It's obviously one of the biggest franchises ever made and still is, and highly recognizable. But I want to expand a little bit into mecha and even, um, see where I can expand the edges of my fan base, because I do feel like I'm stagnating a little bit with the Transformers stuff. And I've kind of worn out my welcome too, because to be honest, like, I think there's some kind of, now I've always felt this way. Like even when I was like trying really hard in comics, I always felt that people were ostracizing me for some reason. Like maybe I'm weird, or maybe I'm socially awkward, or something. But I always felt like people aren't very accepting of me. Maybe it's because I'm so opinionated and I'm so like against the grain, and I really don't care like about certain formalities, and I really want to like skip to the chase, like I want to just get to the nitty gritty. Like I want to be direct about what I want and where I want to be and where I think I belong, amongst the cool kids, right? But like the cool kids don't seem to like to or want to accept me. And there's always this clique attitude, right? Like in comics, and I think in the Transformers circle too. Like there's a lot of cool kids in Transformers, whether it be the pros or the massive fans, the people with massive fandoms that don't really acknowledge my existence, even though I'm here, you know. And I don't know. It just feels like kind of weird. Like I feel like I'm being like ignored. Um, So, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I definitely don't feel that way with you guys. Like, obviously, you guys make me feel welcome. You make me feel like I belong. You make me feel like, I'm doing something right. But I feel like from a, from the pro perspective, like I feel like I'm doing something wrong. You know, like why isn't anybody asking me to do like Transformers covers, or why isn't anybody asking me to do like toy box art, or like why isn't anyone asking me to do like anything for Transformers? Like why am I so like unimportant? um so yeah, but anyway, so what I'm getting at is like that makes me want to, touch base with other fandoms and see if their pro community will accept me, you know, and I can do some professional stuff, and like, maybe the fandom will accept me or something. But yeah, I don't know. Just some of my thoughts there. Like a fisheye lens. Did I do a fisheye lens thing? What was that about? Did any of the Cybertronian designs you make get 3D printed? No, they didn't. What was I gonna do? I think I was gonna, I forgot what I was gonna do, but, um, I think I was gonna like try to like use one of those Womp 3D type, um, services where, you make it, or somebody makes a little model and then you can have them 3D printed and send it to you. But I still needed someone's help, to make the 3D models. And obviously, AI can do 3D models now. So I was thought like, well, if nobody wants to help me, or, obviously everyone's busy, and obviously I can't pay a whole lot of money, then, maybe just, I don't know, use AI to like make some 3D models and then print them, like print one for myself, and then I can show it on stream or something. So yeah, I mean that's on my mind. But yeah, any ideas? I can't really spend time on 3D modeling now. I don't want to. I don't really like 3D modeling, so I feel like there's got to be a way, because I know, making a model out of a photograph, right, like this, is really easy now, I think. Obviously you need to clean it up and stuff, but that's where a third-party software or whatever team could possibly help with that, But yeah. The futuristic redesigns are amazing. Well done. What did I redesign? Textured webbing. Thanks. Beautiful art. Reminds me of Le Maître du Temps. Oh, I feel like I know that French film. I feel like I may know that. I find you use as many different styles as you can fit in. Yeah, I definitely don't have one style. I'm crazy like that. Like I just and I think it's actually I'm not crazy. I'm actually really normal to have lots of styles, because I think it's more unnatural to have one style. And I think having one style is like capitalism, Where like, it's like, oh shit, I can make a lot of money doing this style, so I'm gonna keep doing this style. And so but it's not like born out of like human, like human nature is not to have one style, I don't think. I think it's just, when you can make money on one style, that's why you keep doing that style. But artists will like constantly evolve and do all these weird things, like this, right? Like, here's another one of those eyeball insects. And then this was kind of inspired by something that I saw on Pinterest, which was kind of like these, like, I don't know, like nervous system globs things with the. And I modified it, but I think the one I saw had a heart. But then I was like, okay, well, he could have a brain thing. And this one was my design, which was kind of more like just veins, and then like spiky veins popping out. Yeah, just some more random color studies, where like, just thinking about color to color, shifting color to color here, and what colors go well together and stuff. Again, just pairing colors. Again, not really worth sharing. I mean, this one's cool, but these are just, kind of fun little things that I do on the side and forget about. And there's surprisingly a lot of good use for stuff you would not believe, But yeah, even this, like, there's a good use for this, And I'm glad I did it, Like, there's actually a good use for this too, Just doing lines. Like, I could scan this in and make a brush in Clip Studio Paint with, or even just a little grain that I've gotten there out of the brush. Even that, I could make that into a brush. I could make that, like, you can sell brushes too and stuff. Digital brushes is what I mean, So everything has a purpose. It's just a matter of like, how much do you want to pursue it? How interested are you in taking it to the next level? And a lot of times, I'm so like onto the next that a lot of stuff gets left behind. And again, it's really for my own enjoyment. Like I live in my own world of fantasy and whatever crap I'm wanting to do, Sometimes it's just really just to stay alive. To stay alive is to pass time, right? And to pass time is to stay alive. So drawing really is my, passing time ritual. And honestly, I don't know what to do with myself, because I'm either drawing or eating or sleeping. And if I'm not drawing, there's only so much I can eat, right? There's only so much I can sleep. There's only so much videos I can watch. So it's like, what am I going to do with all of my time? And it's maddening, because you might have to go to work, right? But then if you're unable to work, then what are you doing? Like, how are you going to pass your time? And I have just literally one way to pass my time is just to draw. And it just seems like, I don't know, like, I don't know what it is. It's kind of crazy, to have to think of it that way, but like, it's like it's like being trapped. Like, work is it sucks. I've obviously I worked for 30 plus years, or about 30 years, or whatever. uh and but work keeps you alive in a way. Like, you could really slip off the deep end if you don't have work, something to do every day. So I cook a lot, and again, cooking is like one of my only forms of exercise. So not only is it my exercise, but it's also, again, my a trick I use to pass time. And cooking takes time, which is great, because it's like a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to spend time cooking. Well, it's like, well, hey, I don't have to draw. I can cook. So it's like, that's great. I'd really rather be cooking than drawing sometimes, because like I've been having bad sciatica too, because drawing posture is real tough on my body, and just pain. So like, I literally can't sit even, and the sciatica is so bad that when I lie down, it hurts too. So I have techniques to kind of mitigate the sciatica, but like, yeah, I can't sit, I can't lie down. Um, I'm just in pain. I have to stand up, right? To avoid and then that kind of alleviates the pain is when I'm standing up. So it's like, okay, well, sitting on the floor helps. And I learned about recently that, like, sitting on the floor um, is actually healthier than sitting in a chair to a certain extent. So I've been intentionally sitting on the floor um, to try to, like, not fix my sciatica, but just relieve my sciatica symptoms. Oh, here's more stuff. Like, again, this is like, you're talking about like a guy with total like crap to do, right? So this is probably something I've never shown, but it's like a kind of like a card stock. Like, it's a double layered card stock, like metallic paint, like Optimus Prime uh, trailer side. It's even got like these little divots for for like the, what do you call it? The rivets or whatever. And then this was something I wanted to do more of, and I still want to. It's like these Transformers cards, which has the Deceptic the logo insignia, and then the face, or again, just with the portraits, right? Because I did so well with the portraits. So the portrait and the insignia will always be redone based on the character, right? So it'll just be the spot of the insignia. And I only got 2 done before I got tired. So, and of course, Spider-Man. I'm a big Spider-Man guy. Yeah, I've been drawing Spider-Man my whole life. So just some quickie Spider-Man thingies. And then this is just a quickie. I don't know if this is Motormaster or not, but it's just like, sort of like, again, got the rivets and then the logo there. This is Optimus too. You got the trailer. Obviously not the right colors, but that concept is Optimus. And we got another rivet trailer one here. So yeah, I got stuff for days, man. I gotta like put these all up on the marketplace, and I'm not gonna ask for a lot of money or anything. It's just I just got a lot of stuff, that doesn't belong with me anymore, you know? Especially since I can't work, so my only thing is to really sell stuff. Perfect. I was joining your Discord. Great, thanks. Yeah, it's really quiet in there, but I do check in, you know, a couple times a week, and then there are a couple of active people who are really nice. You know, I try to keep basically no bad people in there. So yeah. Um, I can help you with 3D models. I think you mentioned that in the past, Decepticitty, and I really appreciate that. And but it's, you know, again, you know, like let me know like how you want to go about that because again, you know, I want to collaborate on stuff. You know, obviously I don't have a budget, but like I'm so curious about like how cool it would be to have physical representations of these Cybertronian vehicle modes. I just think it would be so cool, and I just can't see how it wouldn't be the coolest thing. It would just be so cool, you know? And it's literally like I've done some of the heavy lifting with the design work. And obviously anybody can design, you know, stupid looking box cars, right? So it's not, I'm not saying I did a lot of work. I'm just saying, you know, I'm almost there, you know. And one way or another I might do something with somebody. There was one guy, oh man, I should share it with you guys. If I have it somewhere. I think I do. But he jumped on my Discord, right? And he made some animations. And man, like let me see if I can find it. See, I always I I'm like I always try to name my files appropriately. But when I go to search for them, I can't find it. It's really aggravating. See if I can find this. Oh, I found it. Oh my god. Okay, bear with me here. Almost got it. I found it, but I gotta unzip it. Oh god. I just unzipped it into a folder. And what the hell is this? What the hell? There's no way. He sent me Blender files? No. I had a video. Definitely had a video file. So hard to find these things when you need them, you know? If only I named... Oh, here, I found it. Okay. Here you go. So a guy made this, man, and like sent it to me on Discord. And then I was like, shit, dude, that's fucking dope. And he's like, yeah, I want to make more, but I'm busy at work and I can't make any more yet. I was like, that's cool, man. And I think I got sick at that point. Wait, loop, man. Just loop. This literally won't loop for me? My God, it's annoying. Yeah, and then like I got sick, right? So I didn't log into my Discord for like a year. And then like I went back and logged in. And then like his Discord account was canceled. So that it was like a blank Discord account. And so yeah, so I don't even know who he is. I have no idea what his name was. And but he made this, and I obviously I want to credit him for it. But yeah, I have no way of getting in contact with him unless maybe there's metadata baked into this. But yeah, like he totally made it and it looks fabulous. I mean, look at the detail. He did almost every detail on this, and he even did the Blender cartoon animation thing on it. So yeah, man, totally wild, wild, wild. So I'm really sad that, not sad, but like yeah, the timing wasn't the best, you know? So he got lost to the internets. But yeah, so that's the Sideswipe design. So he took it and he really ran with it. I think he did a great job. I mean, this is one of the designs. There's like 4 Sideswipe designs, but sucks. I feel the same way regarding my writing stand. I want to do more of it, but who would notice? Maybe we all outcasts should just stick together and work together. Yeah, you're right, because you know we're the only people that look. You know, people come up together. You know that was the thing. Is like I wanted to be part of these cool kid crowds in comics, but they came up together separate, you know, on their own, right? And they don't want some person to like cut to the front of the line and, you know, join the cool kid crowd. I get it, you know. But hey, yeah, that's exactly like you said, you know. The thing is we're our own clique, right? We just have to designate ourselves as the cool kids, you know. And the more we hang out with each other, the more we, you know, build our own status, right? And then, you know, people take notice, and then, you know, and then people will want to join our clique, and hopefully we'll be more welcoming to newcomers, but maybe we won't be, right? Maybe we'll buy into that hubris, right? And be like, hey, we're cool, you're not, you know. Because hey, you know, once you get rich, once you get famous, you know, things change, man. People change. And so I know I'm not pretending I'll be immune to that, you know. But anyway, I'm just shooting the shit. Nicholas Hammond is my Spider-Man. I'm old. Nicholas Hammond, is he the TV guy? Was he the TV actor? Okay, I'll get in touch with you about 3D designs. Cool, thanks. Please and thank you. Please, bro, call me out in this live chat, please. Lorenzo, thanks for joining. Yeah, I called everybody, man. You know, I really appreciate people watching. We got 9 people in the stream. That's real cool. That's you know, I appreciate it hanging out. I'll be on for a little more, maybe a lot more. I'll start sketching a little bit too. See if I can find a scrap paper that's not too offensive. with all my medication. Like I literally just took all of my I cleaned house on my medication stuff, and I removed as much private stuff as I could, and maybe I'll do one of these 9-ups to start, yeah? So yeah, send in your requests. Maybe I can do a request or two or more or everything. See how well I can do with that. So it kind of, got these medicine caps, right? Got my Walgreens medicine cap as my art dishes. This was the orange I used for that hot rod stuff. So I keep, you know, a little bit of ink in there. And this is a saline syringe that I reuse for my for my water. These are real useful. So yeah, I re-wet the ink. Need a little scrap paper for Justin reads books. Hey, thanks for joining the stream. Hope you're feeling better, buddy. Yeah, I feel good enough today to stream, so that's we'll chalk that up to feeling better. Anthony Lopez, thanks for joining the stream. Hope all is well. Yep, everything's well enough to stream. That's a blessing for me, you know. And it's a blessing that y'all are, you know, joining the stream with me. Appreciate that. We're all in it together, right? We're all careening towards our inevitable demise, right? And companionship is all we got, right? Company. Find your company. Blitzwing and Springer. Yeah, we could definitely do Blitzwing and Springer. Could definitely do that. I pull up some reference for, let's do Springer first. Oh yeah. Got a good old Springer. And make sure I'm on camera. Like, I hate it when I'm drawing thinking I'm on camera, but I'm not. We'll have some mascots here. It's always good to have a couple of hot rods on the table. Springer and Skuxoid. I don't know who Skuxoid is. You've already created so much wonderful art for me. Thank you. Couldn't possibly ask for more. It would be cheeky beyond compare. Yeah, no, my pleasure. My pleasure. It's the least I can do, man, for your support of me. So just again warming up. I haven't drawn anything today, so I like to start off with, you know, gray washes. And I might go into ball pen. I think ball pen is definitely my one of my strong suits. I was just looking over a bunch of my old art, and then I was just like, Man, my ballpoint pen art is just so much more like with it. So we'll do that maybe, but we'll see. The best thing about these 9-ups is when it's done, it's just like it's like 9 little pictures, and it just looks so cool to have 9 little pictures. Of course, you got to go outside the boundaries. It's got like a big head. Of course. Yeah, I mean, I could show a couple of different techniques. Like I do, I do also like to use this Copic, the C1 Copic. So I could do another spring. That one came out so being nice. I don't know. I don't know if he has like a really necessarily like a photogenic head. I don't know who. I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Like Springer. I think he's definitely untapped. He has still has a lot of untapped potential. Like we still don't really know who he is. Yeah, I mean, I think I like the original concept of him as kind of like this hulking. Well, hulking is this Green Hulk, you know, jumping around like smashing things. Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, and then he became Han Solo, which was I would have preferred him to just be Arnold Schwarzenegger. Because he wasn't even a good Han Solo, you know? Like, if you're gonna lean into according to Flint Dille, right? Like, if you're gonna lean into Han Solo, then be Han Solo. But he wasn't really Han Solo. I don't know what he was, but so this we have to wait a little. But this one we can go straight to ink. But yeah, I know complain a lot, or I'm very opinionated, but I don't know. I guess it's just who I am. I don't think complaining is helpful at all. But I do it out of reflex. But I really try to enjoy everything. I should try to enjoy everything more. Um, yeah, I don't want to be a troll. I don't know where it comes from. It's just sort of like, but I think it's a necessary evil, for aspiring artists because it's like you don't really get anywhere as an artist if you like everything, It's almost like being an artist is almost like a part of it is born out of dislike of a lot of things, or this sort of belief that you're better, you know. and then willingness to take on the challenge, to prove that you're better, and failing, of course. But you know, like there's this sort of like belief that you're the better director, you're the better writer, you're the better everything, you know. And you know, that's why some people are like, well, hey, you're an artist, just stay in your corner. And I used to be like, well, no, I don't want to stay in my corner. Like I want to talk about writing, I want to talk about directing, I want to talk about everything, I want to do everything, you know. Now I just think there's a certain breed of character where you can't really be contained, you know. And I think that that does affect your success, unfortunately, in a negative way, you know, because like people don't want a certain breed of like overreaching, opinionated artist, you know, because once you're labeled an artist, they just want you to draw, you know, and that always kind of bugged me. Like I don't want to just draw, you know, like I want you to, you know, see me as more, you know. And of course, you know, that doesn't really go over well, you know. People want to put you into a bucket, you know. They don't want you to like. It's just easier to categorize people, you know. They want to categorize you as something, but I think we're all like multi-talented, and we shouldn't be categorized like that, you know. Shouldn't assume that, you know, an artist shouldn't write, you know. G1 non goodbye cruel world Silverbolt. Oh hey Rodman, thanks for joining. Yeah, Silverbolt. Yeah, I wouldn't think to draw Silverbolt. That's funny. It's funny that you mention him. Let me pull up his reference here. I did draw him once. I guess I'll pull that up. Let's see. I did him once. I drew 3 aerial bots, and I don't know why I stopped. Again, you know, it's like. So that's when I did Silverbolt. And I guess, man, I should have finished. I could still finish him. I don't know if I ever will. But yeah, I did Silverbolt, Air Raid, and Skydive. So that's Air Raid, Skydive. Ooh, look at that! Look at that lens flare. Man, I was crazy back then. I was drawing these guys. And that, while we're at it, I do have a Springer in here. I'm gonna categorize them. I only did him once in this scratchy style. Like his face isn't really even drawn. Just really just kind of scratched out. And then Blitzwing should be in here next to Astrotrain. Where is Blitzwing? Just so at least, you know, you get to see halfway decent art, not my like my 9-up sketch art. Oh, there he is. Blitzwing. Man, look at his shiny sword. Yeah, again, you know, you getting real close, you see there's not even really a face. But I forgot who this dude. Oh yeah, so I actually made him into Spike or somebody. Checking him out. Yeah, that's some of my old art. I think it was you who mentioned Springer was originally supposed to be like the Hulk. Yeah, yeah. I think I forgot where I read that. Oh, it was the I think the original script, the first draft or something. Nothing wrong with being opinionated. It's our right. Freedom of opinion is the right of all sentient beings. Yep. Awesome job on Springer. Thank you for drawing that. Yeah, no problem, man. There's two Springers. See if I can. Maybe I'll since this one isn't really gonna get better if I ink it. Maybe I'll try to put some color on it. Straight to colors. I guess the heart. Hopefully, I have the colors on hand, or something close to the colors. Maybe even color pencils might be in store. Or maybe a combination of different things. I guess it just depends. I don't want to be mixing too many colors. Let's see what colors we got here. Yeah, maybe we'll do mixed media. Oh no, maybe I don't want to make too many color brushes at this point. So maybe we'll just do color pencils. See if we have the necessary colors. Oh yeah, we got this neon green. I wonder if you guys can even see the color. Oops, I forgot to put in the... Oh, maybe I could do a little bit of inking on this. Oh, whatever, I'll do it last. These are watercolor brushes, actually. So, I mean, color pencils. So, this maroonish green. Oh, I don't think I have it. Like, why would I have maroonish green? Maybe we'll just use dark green. Yeah, keep the requests coming in, you know. Just sharpening the screen. Doesn't look that much darker. Maybe I'll use the gray to darken it up later. It's only marginally darker. But with the gray, it almost looks like that maroonish green. Ah, it's all just green, right? Just color them green. It's like who's gonna notice? Who's really gonna notice all the different shades of green? Oh yeah, I forgot I can zoom. Well, maybe y'all can zoom. You know, y'all can pinch the screen and zoom. So yeah, this pen is not working. Or maybe it's the color pencils, like too waxy for the ball pen. Yeah, I think it's like too waxy or something. I'm gonna go with the brush, trusty brush. He's got these like weird things on his arms, which, you know, it's throwing me off. Like it's like weird. It's too weird. Something like that. And then you gotta do the ugly Autobot symbol. It's so hard to draw, like. Oh god, this is not working. Yeah, that's definitely one of the reasons, like, they like, it's like animation studios just gave up. It was like drawing this ridiculously complicated Autobot and Decepticon insignia like 100 times. Yep, I fulfilled the ugly requirement of that. Definitely fulfilled that requirement. Not too bad. Not great, but not too bad. We'll live. What else? Oh, so we got to do a Blitzwing. Oh yeah, did you guys see that Blitzwing Lady Gaga meme? I did a little gag. I wonder if others see or think of colors different than me. Potato. Nick's art coolness. Thanks for joining, Nick's art. Sigma Potato. I don't know what that is. There's a page in the TFR character reference book with 2 pages full of insignias at different angles. Yeah. I did, another one of my mini projects was, oops, not this one, was stenciling, which you kind of saw. I was stenciling the Autobot symbol. So that I could put it anywhere. But then, you know, I would need a small one. But yeah, so basically with the stencil, I was able to make all this art. All these insignias. Obviously, you need to touch it up, you know, but it definitely gives you a really good base to work off of. But yeah, I should make a small one, but then yeah, like you said, that you would need so many angles on it that it would almost be crazy to have a stencil for all the different ones. I did one for the Decepticons too, and this one worked pretty well too. Oh my god, you believe that? It's like stuck in there. You gotta be real careful with the thin lines too. Oh, this is not even. So I didn't go too far, and then of course, as usual, oh shit. As usual, I you know, got bored. Not bored, but yeah. I mean, obviously this is, you know, still viable in the sense that I can, whatchamacallit, I can make those cards, those trading cards. You know, these. So, you know, I have the stencil done, so I just need to keep drawing, you know, close-ups of body parts and get those stencils on there. But yeah, one thing at a time. All right. Oh yeah, let me show you the Blitzwing Lady Gaga gag. So there was this meme going around of Lady Gaga looking like a Blitzwing. So I made a little video here. It's real simple. I never posted it. But yeah, it's basically Win Gaga. I actually, you know, drew this, obviously. But yeah, Blitzwing, the moment of fame there. Oh man. Where am I? What am I looking at here? Yeah, I make so much stuff, I just don't post it. I don't know. I guess it's tiring, or like sometimes I just wonder, like, what am I doing? Like, do I need to post? Like sometimes just making something is fun enough for me to where like I made it, it's fun, and I don't really feel the need to like share it. If that makes sense. The making of it was enough, and maybe it's not even funny. It's just sort of like, ugh, I made it. It's like, okay, I'm going to bed, or whatever. So it's just, I don't know, it's weird. It's like I was definitely more into sharing and social media, and I think, to some extent I still really like it, but I've just, kind of had a little shift here and there. Just questioning things, You end up like, and say, "Oh, you think too much." It's like, yeah, maybe I do, but it's like you want to question things, You want stuff to feel right. You want it to feel a certain way. You want it to be like heading towards some kind of goal, or like, hate to say it, but like some kind of like deeper meaning, even though there's no meaning. It's like, what's the meaning of this? What's the meaning of that? You know? And what's the urgency of this? What's the urgency of that? And and then boom, like, your stomach hurts, your chest hurts, and then it's like, ugh, like, well, actually, I can't even do anything right now anyway, so just lie on the bed and watch videos. It's just like, which probably sounds really kind of depressing, but it's just reality. It's just like, it's so intensely private in a way too. Just like art and whatnot is, maybe it's to be shared. Maybe it's just a very, very personal, like, expression meant for an audience of one. And I think, the capitalism has really like propelled, it's really like made people misconstrue art as something more than it is. Like, it's definitely a human need. Um, and then, the audience, right? Like, the audience definitely consumes such a crazy amount of entertainment and art and all that. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm a participant. Even though I draw, like, even though maybe I wish at some points in my life that I was famous enough to like be a part of capitalist art, you know? The reality is that 99.9% of artists are just not going to be part of that capitalist reality of art. And that's the way it was. Really, art in the earliest times, I believe, was more of a religious thing, where it was like you might be recognized for your art, but most of the time you were just going to be drawing for the church, because they were the only ones with money anyway, and you get hired, and you might not even get paid, very much, because your payment was your passion, right? It was your it was your honor to draw for the church. That was payment in and of itself. The the act of producing something that was inspired by God or the church or whatever, God, not the church, inspired by God, was like, that was payment. And so like it's been so like, our capitalist society is so like misconstrued represented what art is into like this sort of like, oh, I drew something, oh, I want to be paid in a sense hourly for my art. I drew this. It took me 5 hours to make it. Why is it worth less than a coffee? Why are people buying a coffee and not buying my art? It's like no. It's like people buy coffee because they're sleepy. You know, they wanna have immediate. Um, they want that sleepiness. They want that jolt of energy. You know that's what coffee does, right? And it's like, what does art do? Art is like this sort of like thing that someone did on the side. Like no one asked them to do it, right? You drew it, you spend 20 hours on it, but like it's like it's worth nothing, you know? The time you spent on it has no meaning at all. It's all just, your hubris, you know? It's not even worth a coffee. It's not even worth 10 coffees. And it's not even worth half of a coffee. It's not even worth one third of a coffee, you know? Like nobody wanted it, you know? It's just so cruel. Well, I just think about that to some posts I see on social media. It's like people are really, I don't know. I'd share more stuff if I wasn't so exhausted with social media. Yeah, it's exhaustion. It's literally exhaustion. If you say it's like giving birth, then you should want to show off the child you created. Remember the 5th of November. Just lit my bonfire while listening to you. The 5th of November, what is that? Sorry. I see you put British flags up. I'm not. Uh, maybe you can enlighten me. You can enlighten this Taiwanese American kid. I feel like I want to color this because it's kind of hard to tell who it is, you know. See if I have the right colors. I probably don't have that purple. Purple. No, I don't have purple. So I could paint it. Maybe I'll just paint it. Yeah, I'll go back on what I said. I'll do some color today. A little bit of color. What do we got here? Just a tad bit of color because Blitzwing wanted it. Blitzwing said, "Hey, give me some color, fool." Fool. I was thinking about my college friend the other day, and he used to say that, like as a greeting. He would be like, "What up, fool?" And then I kind of thought, because I haven't talked to him in like 10, 20 years. I was thinking like, man, if we met, I wonder if he would say that to me. I wonder if he would still say that. What up, fool? I don't know. It got me thinking about like that male, male group camaraderie, right? Where we call each other names and we disrespect each other, and you know, I'm like, is that necessary? Like, I don't know. Again, I'm really sensitive. I guess I'm thin-skinned, so it's like, it's like, am I a fool? It's like, am I a fool to you, man? Ah, V for Vendetta. Yeah, that was a cool movie, and definitely the what do you call it? The Guy Fawkes Day. Isn't there like a Guy Fawkes Day? Our equivalent of your 4th of July. Okay, yeah. And then is there a Guy Fawkes Day? Is that a different day? Try to clean this brush. Yeah, it's clean now. So, I can't remember this color. It's roughly right. So today is Guy Fawkes Day. So it's the 5th. So it's the same day as the Independence Day. So is that intention? I mean, is Guy Fawkes related to some kind of independence? I mean, I know he was, I guess, an activist or something. So hard to paint out of this. Oh, I just broke it. Cracked. Well, I guess. Ooh, that's not good. Because that's a little easier to access, maybe. Today is Wednesday. I feel like this guy has a lot of color for only his head area. If that makes sense. All right? It's like he's got purple, yellow, red, gray. That's like 4 colors in a small area. Beige. There's even beige in there. There's yellow. It's like 5 colors. That's like the worst, the worst character to do a headshot of and then say, hey, I'm going to color it. I'll do it in color pencil. Because I have yellow. I don't have that off yellow, though. It's kind of a... I wonder if it's kind of this color, even. Because then I have to keep cleaning my brush. Which is hard to clean, because I don't really have a water thing. Well, I do. But then the water gets dirty. So, like, you pretty much have to clean the water thing each time you... Color. Yeah, color is always in high demand. But not that big of a fan of color. I feel like color, well, it depends. Yeah, sometimes color is really called for. Other times it just muddies the inks. You know, because you spend all that time on the inks and then it's time for the colors, and then the colors just kind of wash out everything. This bro has way too many colors for one area. But I guess that's part of his personality too. It definitely sells the character, so to speak. Make sure it's clean. And now we're going to do some red. Just a dab of red. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I gotta say though, man, once the colors are in, he looks dope. Man, how am I gonna finish 9? I don't think I'll be able to color all of these. Yeah, one problem with these is, I end up drawing really small, so it's like not that great for a live stream. I think that came out a little too orange, but yeah, just maybe he's just a dusty tank today. Dusty tank parts. And the gray, we're just gonna do the old Copic. Oh man, got some like other colors mixing in here. Oh, it's from the ink. So the ink is not waterproof. So the ink is creating a little bit of purple, which is interesting. It's an interesting touch. I mean, there is purple on Blitzwing, so it's not totally out of the ordinary to have some purple on his face mixed in with the gray. Just a little bit more shadow. Yeah, because you got to have, the reflecting colors. Everything reflects off of everything. Helps everything to feel a little bit more in the same area, so to speak. So far we got Blitzwing, weird looking Springer, and weird looking Springer. This guy looks like a little kid. This guy looks like, I don't know, creep. Kind of like, I don't know what he's looking at, but he looks like he's, I don't know, creeping. This thing looks good. Colors really pop. Thanks. Yeah. I don't know. He's got kind of a fat face, but it is what it is. Yeah. Any other requests? Let me know. If not, I'll do a toy brawn, maybe. Make sure I'm on camera again. Maybe I'll get more in the center here. Yeah, I really want to get his wing in here. The wing. And maybe part of this beefed up metallic arm. We'll beef up his arm a little bit. And for now, we'll give him the hook. The weird pincer hand. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to do some creative license on this because it's not gonna work out. Dude, his face is so wide. That's hilarious. It's like I don't know what it's like, but it's like stretched. It's like a joke. It's like a joke how much it's stretched. Funny. Give him some joints here. Ooh, that didn't turn out too well. Good enough, I guess. Oh, the light is shining right on this. The glare, sorry. Or if it's glare or what. Maybe a Copic is too light. Oh, he does have a joint there. Look at that. Probably a little more square than even I drew it. How I drew it. Make sure to breathe if you're drawing. Always remember to breathe. Hold your breath like a dumbass, like me. So here's where I put an extra joint, and it wasn't looking that great. So let me try to reposition it here a little bit. I'm trying to think, like, how would this guy even move this weird looking appendage? I'm just tempted to add in a lot more joints to it. Probably like too many joints. And he only has like 2 fingers, I guess. Really intricate. It's crazy how intricate this is. For such a small toy, the amount of detail they put into this mold. Or every single little toy. It's crazy. Like, a lot of it is just extracurricular detail, you know? Nobody asked them to like put this much detail. It's just some dude like somewhere in Japan long ago, like just vibing, man. I don't know what he was drinking, man, but he was vibing, creating, like, chiseling all this little detail and stuff so that we can have our, so that I can have my enjoyment now in 2025. Like, he doesn't know. He doesn't know how, like, detail adds enjoyment, eternal enjoyment. And how it like spawns, like, you know, eternal innovation, you know? Like, I'm not 100% following his details, but like it's inspiring new details, which, you know, come out of nowhere, you know, but only because he, you know, initiated that um, spark of creativity, spark of design. Design begets design, you know. The void, the void of the eyeballs. His eyeballs are a void. I haven't really established a light source. Kind of might be upper right, standardized. But I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm not gonna overdo the details. Something like that. This, you know, because I did it in non-waterproof ink, I probably shouldn't color it unless it's with color pencils. And I don't know if I have the right colors for this. Yeah, this is that dark brown, that dark green that I don't have in color pencil. What did I do? I have it in this set. A dark green in here somewhere. No, I don't. Yeah, it's okay though. Yeah, even this alcohol marker will just blend this all over, blend this to infinity. So that's Braun. Any other requests? Oh, the retro Braun. Yeah, yeah. That was definitely a nod to G1 Braun. Never had Astrotrain as a kid, but recently picked up a mint in sealed box reissue. Nice. Yeah, Astrotrain I had him. Not to brag, but yeah, he was a lot of fun and just great toy. Don't forget to hit that like button. Hey, Cruiser Motorsports, thanks for joining. Yeah. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. I wonder if Toy Braun's design was inspired by 1978 Cylons. That's an interesting thought there. Let me pull up a Cylon real quick here. See what we can see. That's a Thundercracker quote. Cylon. Oh, come on. I got Ceylon. Stupid autocorrect. Cylon. Oh, damn. Look at this guy, man. For reals. It's crazy, man. Oh, man. No, I won't say it. Stay positive. Stay positive. Well, since you mentioned it, maybe I'll do a Cylon sketch. You guys know each other? Decepticitty and Cruisers Motorsports? Yeah, CGI. That's what I was gonna say. The CGI Cylon came up, you know, in the search, and I was like, ugh. I did not having it, man. Yeah. But hey, we gotta be positive, man. People like that stuff. Some people like it, so we gotta let them like their likes. Oh man, this just came up too. Wait. Oh, this is funny. This is funny. That's a great shot. I was gonna show the helmet. I don't know who this guy is, but the helmet is pretty dope. You know, again, I don't know why these are coming up. Like, I don't know who that is. But the helmet. I mean, that's probably some... Oh, dude. So much cool stuff. Look at this guy. That's so cool. Another guy. Look at these guys. Man, they must have had the time of their lives being Cylons. Really cool. Oh man, this iPad is so heavy. It's like hurting my arm holding it. Here's another shot of that helmet. Pretty cool. Looks heavy. Oh yeah, another one. Look at that. Oh, it's a black hole. It's a rabbit hole, man. You start looking at this stuff. It's just like never ending. Cool design. Cool retro design. Yeah, I'm kind of torn on drawing this Cylon. I kind of like it, but I kind of don't like it that much. Like the nostalgia is better than the actual. If that makes sense. Yeah, shoot, I'm complaining again, man. Damn. Non-stop complainer, man. You gotta put me in my place. I saw this the other day too. So this is the Fifth Element policeman. Oh, this was cool. Like, there's something about this. That's cool. Even the you know what, the whatever that is. Yeah, there's just so much cool design out there, and it was all done before. You know, like when was Fifth Element? What year was that? Around that time, there was still creativity happening, and then at some point, Hollywood just, not to knock on all of Hollywood, obviously, there's good and bad, but a good amount of releases became kind of, you know what, just reboots, rehashes, and attempts at sequels and whatnot, and just, I don't know, a mixed bag. Yeah, Starbuck and a Cylon, man, so cool. All-time favorite character is Lieutenant Dylan, played by Barry Van Dyke. Okay. Um, yeah, Children of Primus. So I did that interview so long ago. I don't know who's who anymore. I remembered that one guy's name, Spin, that I couldn't remember in the last live stream. But yes, there's Spin, and it's about 9 of you guys, or 8 of you guys in that one interview. Human helmets look like the Sphinx. Yeah. They're cool battle cruisers in Battlestar Galactica that are similar to Tetrajets. Yeah, I used to love those. I think I had a toy of one. I think I had a Cylon ship and and one of those Rebel cruisers. Who trivia um, was designed by some of the same crew that designed the X-wings and stuff. Yeah, the Vipers. Yeah. All right. What else we got? We could do like we could do a mini bot. Mini what do you call it? A toy bumblebee. So I'm looking left, right, front, down, up. We don't have an up. I mean, these guys all had ballin' faces, baller faces, man. Like, they really simplified up these designs. I mean, again, just going back to the sheer amount of detail on these head sculpts and toys and everything. It's crazy, man. Crazy. I'll even give him the keychain thing there. It looks cool. I almost want to give him the back head plate too. You know, I mean, it's almost, oh gosh, I accidentally made it the same as the border there. Maybe we'll do brush on this one. Yeah, Ralph McQuarrie. Did he do Battlestar Galactica? I was more thinking the model designers. Um, I think some of the model designers, the ship designers. Well, I know Ralph McQuarrie designed some ships, but I think some of the physical model crew from Battlestar Galactica were brought on to just to do Star Wars stuff. Like, um, I heard that somewhere. One of the documentaries I watched, and this was fairly recent, so this isn't like some kind of sketchy memory. Um, yeah, yeah, Star Wars is definitely fun for all of its lore back, you know. Yeah, I forgot what it was, but I was watching this thing and it went into real depth on like super depth on everything. And gosh, I can't believe I can't remember where it was from. Because I also borrowed that like a huge tome called like The Making of Star Wars by J.W. Rinsler. And I highly recommend that if anyone can buy it or borrow it from the library. Like, damn, that thing, I it was right around the time I was getting really sick. Like I was losing my eyesight because my eyes weren't getting enough blood because of, my sickness. So I was really trying to like read and like catalog all of the best trivia from the like mostly unknown trivia from the book, from the thing. And I was gonna like do this whole like thing on social media about it. And then my eyesight got so bad that I couldn't even read anymore. And I quickly I skimmed the rest of the book as best as I could. Oh shit, he doesn't have eyeballs. Damn. Um, yeah, I skimmed the book as quick as I could, returned it because I didn't, wanted to make sure I could return it because I kind of knew at that point I would have to go to the hospital. Um, but yeah, I mean, I should see if my local library here has it and just continue the research. I mean, the research is already done, but it's sort of like nobody's going through that whole thing and like sharing all that stuff, So like I could be the one to do it, but at the same time, you know me, like, you know, abandoning shit. Just because, again, that sort of thing, like, should I not, do I have enough energy to do it? Before I had unlimited energy and now it's like, it's such a weird feeling to have to worry about my energy. Because I used to think, man, like I was like, I had real like confidence in my energy levels. Like, like, but it was all like uh, it was all like, it wasn't a bottomless well, man. It was a finite well of energy, man. Believe it or not. I thought it was an infinite well of energy. It's crazy, right? Crazy, dude. Like, when your energy is gone, it's like, what the hell? It's like, what in the hell is going on? Like, something you took pride in, man, like major pride in, having energy is gone. It's like, is this some kind of joke, you know? Like, what? You know? Seriously, man, it just takes you for a loop, man. It's like the weirdest thing, you know? It's like, is this a joke? You know, like, is this someone's idea of a sick joke? It's like, but you know, you come to learn that life, man, in some senses, is like literally a sick joke. You know, somebody's idea of a sick joke. You don't want to name names here. You know what I mean? But like, you'll find, like, if you've lived long enough, you know, you'll find that like there's some like real weird, like, poetic, what somebody believes to be poetic justice, you know, being run on your ass, you know, and people want to call it karma or whatever you want to call it, man, whatever religion or whatever. But that shit is real, man. It's real. I mean, it's somebody's idea of like swift justice, and it used to be like, let's just say, right, you had to die before like you would get some justice, you know, in the afterlife. But then now, like, you know, they talk about that instant karma, man. I think the instant karma is like ramping up. It's faster, man. And I'm not saying like I did a bunch of bad shit. I'm just saying like somebody's idea of karma is like really, it's really taking hold, man. It's fast, man. It's like within your lifetime, you might get some swift justice in somebody's eyes, right? And it's like, wait a minute, wait a minute. It's like, hold up, you know? It's like, what's going on and why? And look what? And it's too late, you know? It's like, oh shit. Like, okay, you know? And you pull yourself together and you're like, all right. But yeah, I don't know. That was kind of a rant, but oh, did I draw off screen? Hopefully I didn't. Yeah, that's Bumblebee. I think it came out okay. It came out real quick because I was ranting. It's like I don't even remember drawing it. But that's literally Bumblebee's head, man. I know you're not zoomed in, but like that's a version. That's a version of Bumblebee's head. Like that's how badass he could be, you know, if you you know, if you're like imagine this guy. That's what I'm saying. It's like Transformers needs kind of a reboot, like by me, you know, doing this kind of shit and this kind of shit. And just, you know, obviously tech specs being what they are and everything. But some kind of reboot where it's like these guys, you know, that didn't get homogenized into like Gundam wannabes, you know? And obviously the designs were so good. But I'm saying it's like it wasn't these guys. You know, they weren't making cartoons of these guys, right? They were making cartoons of Gundam, some kind of mashup of these toys and Gundam, you know? Which is why I made that video, which nobody watched. But like, seriously, you know? It's like, am I here to watch this guy? This fucking dope ass guy? Like with all the detail? Was this guy in the cartoon? Kinda, but not totally, right? He was kind of in the cartoon. Was he totally in the cartoon? I don't know. Not this guy, you know? Like there's something that's missing, you know? And again, you know, that's just me on a tangent, but it's like there's potential, you know? But not to completely throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's like it's a redesign of all the characters, but something it retains a lot of the spirit of the first season, which nobody has done properly yet. No matter how hard they try, they seem to always miss the mark on recreating the magic of season one. Either they're avoiding it or you know, they don't understand it or something, but somebody's got to eventually educate them on like what they're doing wrong. Like you wouldn't even know that's Bumblebee if you don't color him yellow, you know? As a kid, you know what an older, more frail person looks like because you have grandparents, and you know that all being well, you'll be that old someday too, but you don't really think about the in between stages. It's quite a terrible shock when you find yourself starting to disintegrate. Yes, disintegrate is a good word. Because we believe we're invincible. You know, it's hidden somewhere in the back of our brains that, you know, you look at the way a lot of young people act, right? Is you know, they'll do dangerous things because they aren't really aware of the concept of a horrific accident, you know, horrific, um, and yeah. I always felt there was some kind of a disconnect between the toys and the show. Comics touch more on toy. That's true. So yeah. So one way for me to probably re-enjoy, you know, Transformers is to read the comics. So I should do that. But you know, I have this weird aversion to some of the comics, the old comics. I don't know what it is. I know a lot. There's a lot of people who love that stuff. Just like there's a lot of people who love Beast Wars. But there's some kind of weird sort of resistance I have to reading the comics. So unfortunately, that may not be in the cards for me. Illness, frailty, weakness, it's scary. Let's help each other to be brave. Yeah, I think you know, community again is what helps us to pull through. Community being, you know, family, friends, you know, acquaintances, anybody, even just in passing, you know, a conversation with with your barista or neighbor or you know, nurse. In my case, you know, I talk to a lot of nurses, and you know, when I get that just that little bit of humanity, aside from all the doctor talk, it makes a big difference. Okay, I got four more. How am I gonna blitz this? Give me more bots. Robots. Give me more robots. Oh man. I think I've been talking for like 3 hours. But yeah, I don't know. I think this time slot's not too bad. I mean, obviously it's getting late for some of you in the UK. Um, but you know, I heard like 4 hours is a good length of time to do a live stream. I kind of agree with that because it allows people from different time zones to join in, and then it's a long enough time. You know, obviously people aren't going to stay long, so it's a good way to have people kind of pop in, pop out. I was even thinking of like eating breakfast on stream. You wake up in the morning and I just show you what I'm eating for breakfast. And it's um, kind of like a ritual, you know, where if people are getting up or right around that time, if they're wanting to just have a, you know, have a breakfast conversation, for me, breakfast, but having a conversation with me over breakfast, then, oh, wind charger. Yeah, sure. We could do a real wind charger. Maybe not the, or I don't know, maybe we're on a toy kick here. So let's do the middle row will all be toy, toy renditions. I always like this up angle, so maybe I'll do another up angle. Tailgate. Yeah, tailgate. Actually, so let me look up tailgate. Yeah, they did give him a head sculpt, a way. Man, they went crazy on that head sculpt. Yeah. Maybe I'll do that. I'll do that next. Because there's something a little unsettling about this wind charger head. It's like it's kind of there, and I guess this is you know, I'll go back on what I said about the detail, but like I don't know, maybe the designer wasn't having a good day. No knock on him, man, or whoever, but I'm just kind of a joke, but yeah, the head leaves a little to be desired, you know. Um, but you know, he obviously has his charm, obviously. Can't deny that. Give him this big buck tooth. Buck tooth. We used to say that a lot as a kid, right? As kids. Be like, oh, that kid is, you got buck teeth. And the things kids say. They're so focused on like visuals, right? Like somebody's fat, somebody's skinny, you know, somebody's ugly, somebody's pretty, somebody smells, right? Somebody called me a curse word, right? Oh, he called me a curse word. I'll try to mail you some TF stories by Lady Bird books. They're self-contained and fun, shouldn't clash too much with the other content. Okay, yeah. The artwork was amazing. Really, Lady Bird books. Transform, let me look it up. Transformers, Lady Bird books. Oh, these. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, I shouldn't say these, but yeah, maybe I mean it looks like box art, but then some of them, yeah, got some funky, some of that wonky. The people they hired, man. They're legends by now, but um it's funny. Like they definitely hired some non-robot artists to do a lot of stuff back then, right? Like drawing robots was just not a thing. And I don't know where they found a lot of these artists, but yeah, there was some funny stuff published. If only I'd been born what 10, 20 years earlier, then well, I'd be dead by now, but that's number one. And I probably wouldn't know the first thing about doing a live stream, so that's number two. But hey, I might have been an artist for Ladybird books. That'd be my I'd be at a convention, right? And then my intro, my banner would be Ladybird books artist from the 70s, 80s, or rather. And then Spacey would come to my table. I'd sign a few, maybe. No, it was definitely great when I moved to New York, and I started going to New York Comic Con, and I was able to meet a lot of my favorite artists at my favorite comic artists at New York Comic Con, and just great to, man, just to see them in the flesh and just have them share some of their stories, some of their favorite stories about some other artist, you know. And I would go home and send an email to my brothers or text my brothers about, I heard such and such story from such and such. And yeah, I mean, a lot of these stories I haven't even shared with people on the internet. So, and I'm sure, you know, these famous people talk about all this stuff to everybody, so it's probably not super super special, but still, you know, the fact that they spent some time to share an anecdote with me is super cool. Something I would have never that I never thought would happen. Because it just, like, I don't know, even just like becoming a comic artist is just like something I never even considered, you know? It was like I was when I was young, like, and I was graduating from high school, it was like there wasn't an option to like go to art high school and become a comic artist, like eventually somehow. Well, there was no like I didn't believe those kinds of dreams came true, you know? It was just being pragmatic, you know. It was like you go to high school, then you go to college, you know, you get your business degree and you go do some mindless job, you know. And that was the way I looked at the world at the time. And then finally when I turned 36 and you know, my back was against the wall, so to speak, I was like, fuck it, you know, I'm just gonna try to be an artist. But like, I mean, part of the reason I gave up too was, you know, it's definitely my own mental, you know, block, which was that, you know, I just wasn't good enough, you know. I mean, honestly, even to this day, like, I'm not really cut out to be a comic artist because it's a difficult job. And number two, like, I still to this day, I can't really draw what I don't like drawing, you know? And I was looking at like comic book covers the other day, and I was like, almost all of the covers, I would say like 99% of the covers were of content that I had absolutely no interest in, you know? It'd be characters I had no interest in, or some storyline about Hulk, like, I don't know, smashing a wall or something. And it was just like, it was such, I realized, I was like, wait, like, I never wanted to draw this stuff, you know? And so that's why I had written off, maybe even written off comics as a career because there was so much that I didn't want to draw. Like I didn't want to draw cities, cityscapes. I didn't want to draw random people on the street, you know, because they would always make you like draw like the streets of New York, you know, and you know, it's Peter Parker. It's not Spider-Man. It's Peter Parker for 10 pages. Peter Parker walking around in New York for 10 pages. It's like, hell no, I ain't drawing that, you know. Hell no. And so, like, I think that sealed my fate. Is that, you know, I didn't want to. That's Wind Charger, toy Wind Charger. That came out okay. Probably a little too much white there, but we will add some gray in there with the C1. Because if I go in with that brush, it's gonna make everything. It's gonna have too much color in it. You know what I mean? You gotta you know load that brush exactly right, you know, and it's gonna just like wash everything out. Oh, just a little gray, just a little gray to fill in some of that white spot. I don't know, man. I'm really tired, so I might call it a day at 6. So today we got Springer, Blitzwing, and we got 3 toy headshots, which I really like how these came out. So maybe I'll, you know, scan them, blow them up, and you know, this one like I could fill in some of the top there. But you know, you might see these again. Or I might redraw that one because these are the same angle kind of. So I may draw this one from that sort of low angle and use the same tools because here I did the ballpoint pen. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a stream because it's 5 o'clock. I'm gonna grab a bite to eat. Still got 7 people watching. Yay, man! Thanks, 7 people for hanging out to the end. You know, we'll do a little bit of closing goodbyes here, and I'll read the final comments here. Yeah, sorry I couldn't draw the tailgate, you know, but you know, he may pop up on social media, so keep an eye out, or at least for the next stream. Artwork in those books are amazing. Earl Norm was the artist that did that really nice. Oh, okay. Stan and Spacey at the convention. That'd be awesome. Yeah, someday. Yeah, someday. Or when the virtual stuff gets good, then you know it'll be just as good, right? It'll have all the bells and whistles of real life, right? if the promises, if all the Zuck promises come through. So I heard this theory, and I'll wax a little bit before I leave, but so I heard this theory on TikTok, which I believe now. I firmly believe this. So again, this is why I take down the live streams, because I don't want anyone to like, you know, be listening to this like 10 years later and be like, man, that fool's crazy. But no, I really believe this. It's like, okay, so people like that. The theory is that people like Zuckerberg, and let's say Elon Musk. Why isn't his arm going in? Damn it! Like this bugs me to no end. Like, so yeah, so people like Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, and they're all like just fronts, right? Like they're just employees, dude. Like of the larger 3-letter corporations. Like they like proof. The semi proof of that is like apparently Zuckerberg was just the roommate of like one of the leading people at DARPA, and they were DARPA was doing like this program that was like Facebook like, and the whole premise was that instead of creating dossiers on general people in the public, just to have risk assessments, right, on people, that they would have people fill out their own 3-letter corporation dossiers, and that eventually became Facebook. You think about it, like, what a brilliant idea, right? Instead of people pushing paper to make dossiers on every single citizen. Like, what if the people made it themselves and they thought it was fun and ha ha ha, right? And so Zuckerberg, being a roommate of this son of this guy from DARPA, and I'm sure the son ended up working, in some government capacity as well. But Zuckerberg just being, hired on to first, maybe concept out some more details, because he's a software guy, right? He could put the project together, but at the end of the day, he's a billionaire, yeah, but like, he's not free to do whatever he wants. He's still just that old DARPA employee, and and let's say Elon Musk, right? At some point, he got connections to something bigger than life, right? You know, and then he became the face of whatever, PayPal and Tesla and all these things, and it's way bigger than any like free human can be allowed to be in control of, right? So you're basically a government employee with a high salary, but you're not really, operating on your own terms. You're still an employee of this larger 3-letter corporation, or the military, or whatever, because it's all militarized too anyway, right? They're all kind of connected at the hip. So, and it makes sense, because, you can't have a rogue $100 billion worth person roguing about, who, if you have that much money, maybe you could buy a whole set of missiles and a whole like private army, or run off to, I don't know, some random country and start your own dictatorship or something. It just doesn't work like that. That's not how we assess. That's not how we allow risk. That's not how we manage risk in the USA, right? Like, we have to manage risk. Every billionaire is a risk. Every celebrity is a risk, and they have to keep these people under check. But yeah, I said I was ending the stream, but I went on a 5-minute thing. Love bronze gripping pose. Yeah, I don't think anyone listened to my rant. Thanks for the stream. Look forward to seeing what's next. Yeah, definitely. This was how long was this stream anyway? 3 hours and 16 minutes. That's the longest I've gone in the recent era. I think 2 hours and 30 was my longest. But yeah, oh, so Decepticity, at least you were listening. That's very interesting. You mentioned that. I was listening to Professor Jang on YouTube, who talks along those lines about elites. I've seen his videos pop up. I haven't listened to them because he kind of looks like me. And you know that thing, right, where you see someone that looks like you, or looks like one of your old high school classmates, and you're like, yeah, I don't want to listen to that guy because I'm Asian, right? So, but I've seen his videos come up. I haven't listened to them, but I could see that, he ends up on certain topics that I've had an open ear, because I left the I first left the official corporate workforce in 2013, and that's when I started listening to all kinds of podcasts, and everyone talks about their red pill moment. And for me, it was all those podcasts. As I went down like a deep rabbit hole of all these like freewheeling like podcasts from 2013, before they cracked down on a lot of stuff, and people cleaned up their act, like they and people got taken down and people got you know, deplatformed and stuff. But yeah, I listened to a lot of stuff, and my first red pill moment was 2007. I want to say 2009 maybe. 2009 in Japan, because the way, you know, obviously when you're in a different country, they'll show you news that would never, at that time, would never have aired in America, right? So, you know, I won't tell you what I saw, but I saw something and it was like, whoa, it's like, that's a completely different perspective, like a non-American perspective on that. Okay. And then I was like, wait a minute though, you know, because I've always had an open mind, and I was like, that's interesting. Like I could sink my teeth into that and let that bounce around my brain until something better comes along. But yeah, so you know, you probably are gonna have like 2 or 3 red pill moments, right? Like the one that opens your eyes a little bit, and then you kind of go back to regular life, and then the second or third time when you get more jaded with the world, and you really just kind of like point of no return kind of thing. I misplaced my tinfoil hat. Yeah, yeah, no, we get called all kinds of names for sure. Yeah, good rant. Yeah, I mean, you know, yeah, like you look at Zuckerberg, right? You're like, this guy's got no clue, man. You know, I mean, he's having a lot of fun. I can see it in his eyes, and it's sort of like, I don't know, man. He's not really connected with reality, you know, and he's enjoying the spotlight, is what it is, right? So she's a showman, kind of in a way, right? He's not in charge of some quad quad billion company. Come on, you know. But anyway, I'm not here to convince anybody. I'm just, you know, having fun. Because, you know, what's left in life, right? But to have some fun with your toys. And the brain. The brain is one of our toys. It's one of God's gifts. But these are my toys. And YouTube Live is a toy. And life is a series of hellos and goodbyes, in the words of Billy Joel and what's his name? Michael K. I listened to a bit of Michael K. Yankees guy. So yeah, it's a goodbye, but you know, we'll say hello again soon. So take care, everybody. Have a good night. Enjoy your dinners and enjoy your nightcaps. Have a good one. Yep, stay strong. Stay strong. Roll out, roll out. For sure, man.